I guess I've always been interested in justice, in sort of inequalities, and how one could, in a way, better understand and then hopefully also make an impact in terms of helping those that have to face all these inequalities just because they're different, which is fundamentally unjust and not in line with the general human rights principles. And that was always my driving force. Minorities are today and have been for centuries perceived as a problem in inverted commas, and they've always been seen as something that profoundly affects instability in states as well as in between states. They have been often looked with suspicion, and certainly they have been portrayed and continue to be so today as the other. So someone who's fundamentally different from the dominant community, from the dominant nation, and from there onwards, from this sort of perception, then of course you have all sorts of policies that try to confirm the status of them being the other, which in reality then means that they are not equal in practice, in reality. There are many obstacles that exist on the way towards better protection or more effective protection of minority rights. I would say the biggest obstacle is really the lack of political willingness to really make it possible for everyone to have equal access to equal rights and to be able to express themselves. I think if you have political willingness and sort of the ability of politicians to look ahead rather than just in sort of 4-year cycles, then anything is really possible. You often hear a reason that minority rights are expensive, but the typical answer is try sort of what is more expensive: to have a society that is not integrated, to have possibly a conflict, to have interethnic violence, to have interstate conflicts, to have instability. I mean, all of this is for sure more expensive than minority rights. But it's really the societies that we should be focused on. It's the societies that should aim at being integrated. But we often still think and talk about minorities and the need for minorities to integrate into societies. So the biggest challenge, I think, all societies, all diverse societies face is how to integrate societies. So how to make it possible for individuals to have access to their rights, how to make it possible for everyone to feel they belong to a state, and at the same time, how to make a state cater for the needs of everyone, regardless of the differences that exist, which includes also then the right for persons to be different, to identify with different minorities, and not to feel then discriminated based on that. So I think the biggest challenge is really how to carry out integration policies, but again, not integration of persons belonging to minorities into society, so not a one-way process, but a mutually accommodating process between the dominant community or communities and minority communities.